Buckle your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. Today I got another story for you. So this story takes place about a month ago, I like to say. So as many of you guys know, I work in a hospital, specifically during the night shift. So I work from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. And on one of these nights, it was a particularly slow night. So basically, I was just doing my thing, just walking around the hospital, making sure my patients are asleep and they are getting the care that they need. And it was around 2 a.m., 2 to 3 a.m., something like that. I was gonna go on my break, but I didn't drink coffee beforehand, and I usually do. But this particular night, I for some reason forgot to bring coffee, and I was really, really falling asleep. So when my break hit, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go down to some local store and see if they have any like energy drinks or coffee or soda or anything like that. And so I clocked out for my break, got into my car, started driving around, and me being a genius I am, I went to like a Vons or like the grocery store, right? And I forgot that, grocery stores don't open at around 2:30 a.m. And I drove about 10 minutes away to my local Vons and realized then that like, oh shoot, I'm an idiot. Grocery stores are not open at this time. So I just wasted like 10 minutes of my break and I only get 30 minutes of break. So then I decided to go down to the next best thing. Well, I wouldn't really call it the next best thing, but I decided to drive down to 7-Eleven. And I should have recognized that driving to 7-Eleven at around this time of night is not the smartest thing because you'll get some sketchy people, if you know what I'm saying. And sure enough, by the time I arrived there, I was oblivious to what was going on. So when I pulled up, I noticed that the sign said closed for cleaning. But I was very desperate. I was falling asleep, and I need something to like drink or eat. So I reluctantly like knocked, and I didn't get an answer. So I decided to like open it, and surprisingly, the door was unlocked. So I was like just wandering around. I was like, okay, let me just go get my soda. And I ended up getting, I believe it was a Mountain Dew because that was the closest thing and the cheapest thing that I was able to obtain. And then when I go to like the cashier, I noticed that there was three people. The cashier, the cashier is the person behind the counter, and then two people. One guy that was kind of weird, and then one girl that looked sketchy as heck. Like, I'm telling you, I think she was one of the tweakers slash crackheads. She didn't look like one, but she wasn't even wearing shoes. She was wearing socks, and she had like a crazy look in his eyes. It was as if like it was an ex-girlfriend trying to get back with her boyfriend or whatever, and he was like talking them off, like arguing in the background, and the cashier was so nonchalant. He had like this blank stare, did not really care, and he rang me up, and I immediately went back to my car. And next thing you know, the guy, when I opened the door, I guess he finally realized that I was in the store and that I was here. He like on the like the second I opened the door to leave, I heard him was like, "Hey, let me talk to you for a minute." And then I went to like fight or flight mode. I just immediately went to my car and I locked it. The second I come into my car, I immediately lock it, and then he tells me like, "Hey man, can you get me out of here? I'll pay you $400 or 200. I'm not sure." But he literally was like holding out like a wad of cash, and then he even tried to like open my door. I'm not even kidding. Like I heard the handle open, but he realized it was locked. And then I said with the windows closed, saying like, "Sorry man, I can't do that." And he had like that desperate look on his face. And then at around this time, the girl came out of the store and she was like saying something, not yelling, but she was like saying the guy, talking to the guy. And then that's when the guy, the cashier, locked the doors behind so that they wouldn't go inside the store. I'm like, oh gosh. And then that's when I started my engine and the guy realized that, okay, he lost, so he just like walked away from my car, and then that's when the girl started like walking towards the guy, and the guy started walking away, and I just drove off back to my workplace, and that was the end of the story. So yeah, what did I take away from here? Don't go to 7-Eleven in the middle of the night, or specifically past 11 p.m. And if you are working night shift, please take the proper precautions to stay awake. In this case, I drink coffee, but I forgot to this time. But yeah, that's about it for this story time, guys. Pretty short and sweet, but simple and a good lesson to take away. So, yeah, see ya.